Broadcasting from the shores of El Pacifico, Phil Hendrie.
Well, welcome back here, the world-famous Phil Hendrie Show, every single night till 1 o'clock on the West Coast and 4 a.m. on the East Coast, a news, talk, and entertainment show that knows what it's talking about, where truth is our bitch, and where we go anywhere to get you to where it is you need to be, whatever that is. Actually, what the line is, we go places other talk shows can't go to, but we do, I think we do like to take the audience places they can't get to ordinarily. And some nights we do a really good job of it, and some nights we do a really, really good job of it. All right. Our number is 877-876-PHIL. Next hour we'll have our news and information hour with Bud Dickman and, of course, Robert Leonard. And we're online at philhendrieshow.com. That's philhendrieshow.com. 1 hour is left in our Cyber Monday sale. If you'd like to get a free shot glass, a free Phil Hendrie Show shot glass, and these are a beautiful thing. If you've seen our shot glasses on our website, just go to our shop and you can see a picture of it. We have less than 1 hour to go on Cyber Monday, so if you want a free shot glass with every purchase of $19.99, the minimum value of your order should be $19.99. I'm misstating that, but you go over there and you'll see it. You'll get a free Phil Hendrie Show shot glass. It's our Cyber Monday, Black Friday, Brown Thursday, brown beret sale. And
Black Students Union.
And Black Students Union. There. We covered it all? Great. 877-876-PHIL. Dr. Ron Tarner is an astronomer with the Cloverdale Observatory in Mountain Meadow, Colorado. He is a frequent contributor to our program. He is also a father of a young boy who he has joint custody with, along with his wife. And Ron is gracious enough to be with us on the phone here this evening to talk about his Black Friday experience in between going to the Bronco game and going to actually giving a lecture, Ron?
That is correct, Phil. I gave a lecture at the University of Denver over the weekend. That is correct.
Okay, and then, with your son, so you had an action-packed weekend, and on top of that, you and Josh were at the Black Friday sale.
Well, actually, what it was, and what I found to be very interesting, was this Black Friday sale was over at the Cherry Hill Mall, and we had decided to get in line, Josh and myself, and a young lady that I had dated for a while. Her name is Sherry, and we were in line over there at one of the last Circuit Cities that's open, and we were going to go in because there were a series of games there that Josh wanted to get, and I wanted to see what they had in the way of Android phones, because I know there's a couple of new apps out for Androids. So we're in line, and I realized that I've also got to go to Denver for this Bronco game because there's going to be some colleagues there. So I asked Sherry if she would stay with Josh, if they would stay in line, and pick up whatever it is that they were going to pick up and get whatever it is that I needed, but I had to leave. And
all right, now who is she?
She's an ex-girlfriend of mine, a very nice girl, and we stopped dating, but she still wants to be around, and I understand that, and I don't have any real interest in her to that extent. But if she wants to be around me, that's fine, but there's some things that I figured, I'm with my son Josh. I also have to go and do this lecture. I need to go to this football game because we're going to have a lot of colleagues are there from the East Coast. So I said to her, would you come and stand in line with Josh, and you can go into the store and purchase, and I gave them a list of the things that I wanted, and Josh wanted some things, and I gave her I think I gave her a credit card. I know what I did is I gave her my bank card so she could charge that. So I left, and as I was leaving, I saw that a man in line had fallen. I don't know what was wrong with him. Either he had a heart attack or he had a stroke. I have no idea. But the people were walking, and Josh and Sherry had stopped to see what had gone on.
Okay.
And meanwhile, they're losing their place. So as they're standing and they're watching this man as he's fallen to the pavement, and I think one or two other people, the other people are still moving up in the line. And I said to Josh, and I was almost at the car, I said, you're losing your place in line. And I'm pointing, and they didn't understand me, so I had to come all the way back And I said, "You're losing your place in line." And I went over to the man that had taken their place. It was actually a man and a woman. I said, "I'm sorry, terribly sorry, but you took my son's place in line." And so they let them back in. So this is all finished, right? I get back to my car.
No, hold on for just a minute. There was a man who had fallen and had a what? He had a heart attack?
There was a man, you're talking about when they moved up in line?
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a man who had fallen in the line, and somehow it had a, I don't know what was wrong with him. But he had fallen down, and there were a couple people ministering to him, but they moved up in front of Josh and in front of Sherry. So I had to go and deal with this. I said, "Look, you're losing your place in line." And then I got in my car, and then I took off for Denver for the lecture and for the football game. And
Now, when did you decide, not decide, but how long were you going to be away?
Well, I was going to be gone till Monday morning, this morning. And that was Saturday night. So they were going to be overnight or in the store, and then I would see them this morning. And
All right, I'm disturbed by the story, okay?
Why?
I'm disturbed because your son is left with an ex-girlfriend who wants to be around you, but you don't want to have anything to do with her.
No, I didn't say that. I didn't say that at all.
Well, you don't want to be romantic.
I don't want to be involved. Yes, I don't want to be involved with her. I don't mind her if she wants to hang around.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, don't you think that this girl is interested in being with you?
Well, look, I needed someone to look after Josh because I was going to the Bronco game and I was on my way to this lecture, and she wants to come over. I'm not sure I understand what you're saying.
I don't know. Your son is with you part of the time. He's with his mother. You want to be with him.
Look, Phil, I'm a good father to that boy, and I resent any implication.
No. I'm not saying that you're not a good father.
I resent any implication that I don't take care of that. Look, you know as well as I do that Nancy wants that to be the case. She wants to have full custody, and we have had this fight, and I don't think I'm not talking out of school. She knows this is true. What I'm saying is that I needed to get to the Bronco game on Sunday and the lecture, and I told Josh, "You stay with this lady," and I introduced them. And
See, he doesn't even know who she is. That's the part that was bothering me, and that the kid's spending the weekend with this woman, standing in line at a Circuit City.
Yeah, you know what, Phil? Until you have kids, you don't really know what you're talking about.
Well, I mean, I was a stepdad.
No. Until you have kids of your own, you don't really know what you're talking about. Believe me, as a parent, we've got a million things we have to do. So I left him with this woman. Her name is Sherry. I know who she is, and Josh knows who she is. And it's a good thing that I had turned around. They almost lost their place in line. Now I get back on Monday, and I found out that she had taken him on some joyride, to that amusement park there in Nevada and State Line. I said, "You can't do that," and that was the argument we had. But Josh said he had a good time. That was the only thing that was wrong with it.
She took him on a joyride. First of all, you're leaving your son with a woman that he just met. She takes him on a joyride to the State Line roller coaster. You're standing in line.
If you're picking a fight with me, Phil, it's not going to work.
No, I'm not trying to pick a fight. I'm just trying to figure out how this weekend. This is a weekend from. Does his mother know?
His mother's got nothing to say about it. Okay, his mother's got nothing to say about it. The thing that angered me was as this man collapses on the sidewalk, and everyone is moving up in line except for Josh and Sherry, I had to go back and intercede on their behalf. People are rude. And
people are rude that they took the kid's place in line and they took Sherry's place in line, but the fact that your son and this girl held back to see if the man was okay, you don't find anything wrong? Do you find that bad, or
to find that what man was okay?
The guy that collapsed.
Well, the guy is she a doctor? No, she isn't. Is my son a doctor? No, he isn't.
No, but I mean, isn't it a natural thing if you see someone collapse in line?
Black Friday. I want to explain this to you, Bill. This is the biggest sales weekend of the year. I know you don't like it, and I know you're not interested in it, but it is the biggest sales event of the year. And it only comes around once a year. And you better have a better reason for losing a place in line when some of the greatest sale prices in the history of this particular chain are being offered. You better have a better reason for losing your place in line than I wanted to sightsee some guy that was laying on the sidewalk that the ambulance was going to, they were going to have an ambulance. And
well, did anybody know that at the time is all I don't know, you know.
Believe me, they were going to get an ambulance, and even if they didn't, there's nothing my son could do about it.
See, in my opinion, and
no, Phil, trust me, I had to get to two very important meetings, and I told them, get into the store, get back to the car, get home, and unless you're watching every second of every minute of every day, people are going to disappoint you. And that's what happened. I had to turn around and tell them, move up in line.
Because they had stopped to watch a man who had collapsed on the sidewalk. I don't think that's unusual. I may be crazy. All right, 877-876-PHIL. We're talking to Dr. Ron Tarner about his Black Friday and his weekend. And, boy, I'll tell you, I've talked to a lot of people. I have not talked to anybody with such an action-packed weekend. He leaves his son with an ex-girlfriend. Somebody has a heart attack in line. We'll be back. We'll talk more about it. 877. Wouldn't you guys out there, wouldn't you stop and help the man, even if it meant losing your place in line, or is it just me? 877-876-PHIL, the world-famous Phil Hendrie Show.
Truth is our bitch. The Phil Hendrie Show. World-famous Phil Hendrie Show.
877-876-PHIL is our number. And we have on the line with us here Dr. Ron Tarner. He is in Mountain Meadow, Colorado, where he is the head astronomer. He's working there at the Mountain Meadow Observatory, I should say. It's in Cloverdale, Colorado. You were in Denver over the weekend. My question is, well, first of all, did that man die? I mean, and let me get people up to speed.
My understanding is he did, Phil.
All right, let me get people up to speed. You were in line with your son and with your girlfriend, your ex-girlfriend, to go into one of the stores on Black Friday, and a man collapsed in line, and your son and your girlfriend lost their place in line as they hung back to see if the man was okay.
Well, Phil, no, that's not what, I don't know if they were seeing if the man was okay. They were hanging back just to ogle the situation. Now, my son's not a doctor, nor is Sherry, and so they stood there and looked as this man lay on the pavement, and meanwhile they're losing their place. Now, other individuals were stepping over this man's body. And
stepping over this man's body. So in other words, this man has had a heart attack or a stroke.
Let me enlighten you to something, my friend. If the man is dead, then it doesn't matter. You might as well step over his body because you're going to lose your place in line. If he's not dead, I'm sure someone has called the ambulance. And
who's called the ambulance?
Someone from inside the store. And
well, how do you know that?
Because, Phil, I've been to enough of these kinds of... Someone inside the store is going to see that's what happens when someone collapses or someone has a problem. Someone in the store is going to go and do something.
Well, you don't know that that's the case because you don't really know what's happening inside the store.
I know that what you're trying to do now is you're trying to, and I don't understand, but you're trying to interfere with a father's decision.
No, I'm not. I'm not trying to do that at all, Dr. Tarner. I'm not trying to interfere with your decision. I'm simply saying that you asked your son, you know, your son loses his place in line.
See what I mean? You're stumbling over what you're trying to say. You're not a father, and until you are a father, you don't know what you're talking about. And I say that with all due respect because I do like you, Phil.
All right, 877-876-PHIL. Let me go to Tom here. Tom, how you doing? You're on the Phil Hendrie Show with Dr. Ron Tarner.
Pretty good, Phil. How's it going tonight?
Yes, sir. Good, sir. Thank you.
As far as losing your place in line over someone's life, whether they're alive or dead, and how about the respect for just the human that's there in need? If you're really valuing or inanimate objects that much that you're going to worry about, someone else on the ground, I think as a person you're pretty weak.
Well, what are you going to do? If you're not a doctor, you're not going to help him. So what do you?
What about? I was going to say. What do they call it? Pulmonary resuscitation.
You're talking about EPR.
Yeah.
You could do that, but if the man, you can do that and you can get AIDS. You want that?
Oh, come on.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of different things you can do, or you can. What are you going to do? Once a year, these sales. You know what, you two guys, I don't know what planet you guys come from.
Well, what planet does a guy come from when you see a man collapse on a sidewalk?
The guy died. He was dead. So you're going to stand there with your cell phone calling for an ambulance for a dead man?
Sure would.
That was my point. You would.
Yeah, because there's nothing in this world that's worth someone else at least trying to save the man's life.
Wait a second. He was already dead.
So
he was already dead. He was already dead. Well, you know something? Yes, within a few minutes, but not if you're waiting for an ambulance to get there. And in the meantime, I have
you got a meeting to get to.
I understand that. Piece of garbage?
No, I didn't give the guy the heart attack. I didn't give him the stroke. I didn't kill him. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get into Circuit City and get an Android phone and get out of the place. And somebody going to blame me for killing somebody?
But the point is that you got upset with your son and your girlfriend and apparently some guy in line who took your son's place. Frankly, I'd probably get upset with the guy too, but the fact is, you were more concerned about your son's place in line than this man.
How many times have I got to tell you guys? He was dead.
I don't know.
Called respect.
Wait a minute. Are you guys hearing me?
You didn't know he was dead at the time, Ron, is what my point is. You made to find out later.
What do you mean? I made to find out. Your grammar is atrocious. And
I'm trying to spit out what it is I want to say here. You found out later the man had died. You didn't know it at the time.
Let me tell you something. That guy dropped in the cement like a cement bag. He was a dead man. I could tell it. I could tell he was a dead man. And this guy on the phone is saying, you're saying to me, once you know he's dead, go ahead and pretend like you think he's alive and what? Go through a big song and a dance to impress people? Not me. I don't do that. I don't play that game.
Wait a second. Are you trying?
Being for 8 years of college, you don't have the English of a doctorate degree. You sound like someone who dropped out of high school.
Excuse me, sir, but Mr. Hendrie was the one who said I had a. Mr. Hendrie, it's not me. It's Mr. Hendrie.
No, I think you are also. You're fracturing.
What words did I not pronounce correctly, or what phrase did I not grammatically? What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
What am I talking about?
Was it? Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
See,
what am I talking?
Now all of a sudden your English is correct. You're definitely striving too hard to.
I think you're hallucinating. No, I think you're hallucinating. I think what's happened here is I have logically put together why I'm not. This is the kind of thing that really drives me crazy.
Look, all I'm saying to you, Ron, you want to call my show up and you want to talk about how your son almost lost his place in line and your ex-girlfriend is to blame, and I don't know why it is you're leaving your son with this woman, but all they saw was a man who was lying. I would think you would feel good that your son stopped to see if he could render assistance.
Why do I want to feel good about a little boy who's too dumb to know? How does my son render assistance to a guy who's had an aneurysm? Wow.
Huh?
What's my son going to do for a guy whose blood vessel blew up in his head? And that's something
First you said heart attack, now it's aneurysm. You don't even know.
I don't know what he had.
About.
Well, what? Yes, I do.
First
it's the same thing.
You said it was a heart attack. Now it's an aneurysm.
It's the same thing.
Different things.
No, they aren't. It's the same thing.
No.
No.
Are you guys
aneurysm is a blood vessel that breaks in the brain. And a heart attack.
Are either one of you guys?
Heart attack.
It's this. A heart attack is when a blood vessel busts in your chest. Ain't that what it is?
Ain't that what it is? That's what the man's talking about. Okay, ain't that what it is?
No, he's not. This guy's nitpicking because I was right
All right, hold the
No.
line. I've got to take a break. Thank you very much, sir, for your call. I really do. And we do have to take a break. Our number is 877-876-PHIL. If you're in line for a Black Friday sale and a man falls on the pavement and needs assistance, are you stepping over him to keep your place in line, or do you hang back to see if you can't help him? Dr. Tarner got upset with his son and his ex-girlfriend for doing just that, hanging back to see if they could help the man while they lost their place in line. 877-876-PHIL. We'll be right back.
I didn't understand one thing you just said.
You're listening to the world-famous Phil Hendrie Show.
877-876-PHIL. It is the world-famous Phil Hendrie Show. Dr. Ron Tarner on the line with us as we talk about this Black Friday episode. There was one other episode like this, Dr. Tarner, in West Virginia. Did you hear about this?
No, I did not. I didn't even know if it made the news.
No, not the one that you saw in Denver. This was in West Virginia where a man died in line.
I would imagine, Phil, it's not an unusual occurrence given the numbers of people. Statistically, I guess you're going to have people who are standing in line. These are the weather conditions and so forth. And I think you should expect it. As well as when it does occur, you want to keep in mind not only the person that has been, that's no longer, the one that's dead, but also, you also have to keep in mind that you're in line, you're there to do something. And I'm sorry the man's dead. But I'm not dead. My son isn't dead. And here's another very interesting fact. I don't see them shutting down Circuit City or Best Buy or any of these stores. Are they shutting them? Is Circuit City dead? No. Is the Best Buy dead? No. So I'm not dead. As long as they're alive, I live. And
I understand that, but I think the question here becomes how important is it for me to stand in line for a sale when a human being has just died, and,
No, you've already asked the question, and I understand but he's dead. What don't you get about dead? And
I get a lot about dead. I understand what dead is. Dead's dead.
Bingo. Give the man a cigar. Yes. I don't mean to be... Phil, I'm not trying to be callous.
Well, it's coming across as just a little bit callous. 877-876-PHIL. Let's go to Tara on the Phil Hendrie Show. Go ahead, Tara.
Hey, I just want to know, Christmas is a season of caring and kindness and all that, and you're more concerned about the price you're going to get on some item versus another human being's well-being?
Well, Tara, if you were listening, I don't know, but I want to get a good price if the man's already dead, and he is dead, so that means that I'm going to think about the money that I'm going to save because he's dead.
There's a such thing as resuscitation, and maybe you could have been there to help him. You could have been the one to call 911. People in the store may not have known what was going on. I personally have worked retail, and Black Fridays are beyond hectic. And, as a citizen, is it not your responsibility to be there to help the other person?
Well, when you say as a citizen, is it Ron Tarner's response? See, here's the thing that I think is interesting. You'll say, what you really mean is, isn't it Ron Tarner's responsibility? And I go and help him, and Tara, meanwhile, steps over the body, and you take my place in line.
First off, as a decent person, I wouldn't do that.
Well, how do I know that? Listen, I've got the tape recording, Phil, because someone was videoing. You can listen very clearly here. And Tara, if you'll just hang on, listen very clearly, and you'll hear what happens. Hey, move up! Move up! What? He could be dead. Move up. Move up! All right. Did you hear that, Phil?
Yeah, I heard that. He could be dead. Move up is what I heard you say to your son.
That's right.
Well, you played that tape. Why? What is that supposed to impress me?
Oh, my God. What about the lady that's on the phone?
That's a heartless person you really are. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to come across ugly and insulting, but my gosh.
I don't see how that... Did you hear the tape? The tape very clearly...
How did you say he could be dead? Move up in line. You're more worried about the price of an item than a man that could be dead.
No, ma'am. I said to my son, he's dead, move up.
If he'd been alive, what would you have...
want to do anything to help this man. Let's just get our place in line and make sure we get our gift. Who cares if a man just died? It doesn't matter.
Ron, I'm reading a book, and I don't mean to insult you. I'm reading a book right now called The Sociopath Next Door.
Don't start with that, Phil.
No, I'm just going to tell you. Sociopaths cannot feel. They have no conscience. They simply see something like that, and they react. Excuse me for saying this, Ron, but they react just the way you did.
And by the way, I am a doctor, and if Nancy Pelosi or whoever that woman was, who's the one that was belly aching about not being called boxer, that's it. Would you mind calling me doctor? She gets to be called senator.
Yeah, that's fine, doctor, but I'm saying it again. You know.
Listen to how you're going. You're stumbling over, and this lady is not being helped. We're not giving her any information.
All right, look at Tara. Thank you very much for your call. 877-876-PHIL. All right, let me move on to another phone call here. I got Hal. Hello, Hal. You're on the Phil Hendrie Show with Dr. Ron Tarner. Go ahead, sir.
Dr. Tarner. I've been
yes, sir.
on the show a little bit, and that's disgusting, man. What if it would have been your family laying on the ground? What if it would have been...
Well, if they were, I would help them. I would render assistance. But I certainly wouldn't expect... I would help them and render assistance, but if I saw someone taking my place in line, I would at least say, hey, you know, I'm helping out a family.
I understand that, and I think the fact that the babysitter was watching, that's irrelevant. The problem I have with everything is...
I'm glad you called her that because she's my ex-girlfriend. I hope she didn't hear that.
Well, there's no regard for life there. Where is your regard for life at? Where do you draw the line? What's more important, a human life or saving $50 on an Android phone?
Obviously a human life. Obviously a human life. A human life is much more important.
I would hope so.
Right. But here's the catch. Here's the catch.
Okay.
It was no longer a human life. It was just basically it was dead. It was dead.
Are you a medical doctor or?
No, I'm not. But I rolled the dice, and I was right.
You rolled the dice.
Well,
so in other words, when you took...
If you're
Let me play the tape. I'll play the tape again. Let me play the tape again, and you'll hear this. Listen. Hey, move up! He's dead. Move up. Move it up!
Doesn't help your case much. I mean, that just kind of makes you look...
All right, you heard the tape, and I was right. He was dead because when they showed up, they said that he was cold by probably 20 minutes.
This man's right. It's not helping you.
I mean, it's just not helping you. It's just not helping you. I'm not saying you're a horrible person. I'm just saying you held $50 savings or whatever it was higher than a man's life, and that's freaking disgusting in my book.
Well, you guys are wrong. I did not kill the guy. I didn't kill him.
I understand you know what?
Tell you what killed him.
Take a poll over the radio right now to see how many people think you're a sicko for having this opinion. I guarantee
I saw the car that he got out of because his wife was there and she was upset. They led her back to the car. Virginia license plates. All right, now, you know why I think that's significant? That means that guy has been eating nothing but grease his whole life. And
what?
Excuse me.
What does that mean?
Holy cow! You're a doctor?
The guy's from Virginia. You tell me he's not eating grease?
Oh, come on. So in other words...
Where are you from?
I'm from Denver, Colorado.
So we like
Denver, Colorado
type now?
No, sir. I don't.
That's exactly what you're doing. And you're saying, the guy's from Denver, the guy's from Virginia, so he's been eating nothing but fatty foods, and no wonder he had a stroke, and so it's not your responsibility. I'm going to go get my Android phone. That's what you're saying.
So I'm from Tennessee, so it's fried chicken and collard greens.
That's fantastic. Yeah? You're eating collard greens? Or you got a college degree?
I mean, if I'm from Tennessee, we're going to start stereotyping people. I mean,
let me tell you this. collard greens are a lot better for you. I would eat collard greens. They're a lot better for you
This is not a food issue. The issue
fried ham.
We're bouncing around the issue here.
The issue here is humanity. Listen, Hal, thank you for your call.
Let's just take a poll.
Let's take a poll and we'll find out. 877-876 Phil.
Yeah, I got a poll for you. You want to take a poll?
Why don't you just, instead of making jokes, Ron, because I don't think that was an appropriate comment.
The gentleman's, Phil...
Whether or not the man was from Virginia, he's been eating grease his whole life.
You said to me that you knew you got a girlfriend in Virginia, and she makes the greatest North Carolina barbecue you've ever had in your life. Didn't you say that?
Yeah.
Well, then what are you talking about?
North Carolina barbecue is... What are you talking... North Carolina barbecue is not fatty. It's got the greatest... Get out of here. I'm not going to talk about food with you. 877-876 Phil. It happens to be delicious. Let me go over here to, I think it's Keith. Keith, you're on the Phil Hendrie Show. Go ahead, please.
Oh, I'd like to make a couple of points. Number one,
yes, sir.
I am a parent, and what you did is totally irresponsible. When your wife finds out, you will lose custody. Number two...
Is he talking to me?
Yes, he's talking to you.
ABC, cardiopulmonary resuscitation. You're a doctor and don't know that?
EBR, emergency pulmonary resuscitation.
3. No, it's not emergency. It's cardio, CPR.
It's not emergency? You don't call that an emergency?
It's cardiopulmonary resuscitation.
Pulmonary.
You can't rename it.
I'm not renaming it, sir. I'm a doctor. We call it something different.
You are not a
citizens.
doctor. You are a doctor. You have
civilian.
a doctorate. An MD.
Civilian.
You're a doctor in you're a doctor in astronomy.
I'm not an MD, if that's what you're saying.
A death cannot be called by anybody except a doctor, an MD doctor.
Was I right? But was I right? Yes, I was.
It doesn't matter if you were right or not. You cannot call that man. You cannot say he's dead. No one without a MD license can say.
I was not making an official pronunciation. I was simply saying to my son and to my ex-girlfriend, move up. There's nothing you could do. He looks dead to me.
God. I mean, Ron.
What a callous person. You know, I don't understand.
Well, if it's about me being
I ski patrolled for over 15 years. I guarantee I've lost a lot of places in line helping people.
You ski patrolled for 50 years? You lost a lot of... I don't understand that.
15 years. I lost a lot of places in line. People are more important than any item.
Well, wait a minute. If you're on ski patrol, you're not supposed to be standing in line anywhere.
Pardon me?
The gentleman is making a point. He's being... You understand what I'm saying? He's making a point about what he did in helping people.
If he's on ski patrol... He's not supposed to be standing in line anywhere. What does he mean he lost places in line?
He's a figure of speech.
I said I did ski patrol. I retired from it many years ago. But
right.
I'm certified in CPR in case someone does have a heart attack in front of me.
Here's the tape recording. All right? In this tape...
We've heard the tape, Ron.
Your ignorance. It just shows your ignorance.
No, it does not. You're going to hear me call it right here.
I'm from Tennessee, and I don't use the term ain't.
Hey.
I lived in Colorado, and I know a lot of people in Colorado. They don't use the term ain't.
Believe me, he's dead. Move it up.
How do you know? How do you
hear that tape?
I do. How do you know he's dead? Did you take a pulse?
Because his eyes were, because of the dead eyes.
His eyes were
closed? No, they were not closed. They were wide open, and he had those dead eyeballs.
Oh, dead
Boy,
eyeballs. So now dead eyeballs means you're dead? I've seen a lot of drunk people passed out with their eyes open.
No, wrong, different.
You don't
Looks totally different. Looks totally different. You've never even seen it.
You have no license.
Except when you look in the mirror.
Okay.
The only dead man you ever see is when you look in the mirror.
You look like an idiot.
It does. It makes you look really callous, okay?
Callous? I called this...
Third of all, you're going to lose your wife.
Move it up! He's dead. He's cold. Right there. That's the fourth time I've played that tape.
And it still makes you look like a jackass.
You spent too much time alone.
What's that mean? I'm paddling it? Oh, so now you're telling me I masturbate? So I masturbate, is that it?
He didn't say that.
Stay there.
Well, sir, I happen to. I'm not going to comment on your habits, so don't start talking about whether I'm spending too much time with it. I mean, with myself.
You can comment on my habits all you want to. I can tell you, you're an idiot. You're a callous idiot that doesn't care about human life.
That's not my hobby.
Planets, go up there, go back to your laboratory and get off the phone.
That's not my hobby. My hobby, I don't have a hobby. I work.
I don't care what your hobby is.
I know what your hobby is.
You don't know what
I know what your hobby is.
How do you know what my hobby is?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Your hobby is Mrs. Thurman or 4 daughters.
Pardon
Okay.
Me? Nothing.
All right, listen, thank you very much, sir, for your call. We got to take a break. I appreciate it. Our number 877-876-PHIL. World famous Phil Hendrie Show. Take a break. Dr. Ron Tarner joining us. It's a very emotional topic. If you're in line for a Black Friday sale and somebody collapses in front of you, do you step over them or do you render assistance? Well, Dr. Tarner had his son and his girlfriend not step over, but move around and get their place in line. World famous Phil Hendrie Show. Be right back.
Truth is our bitch. The Phil Hendrie Show. World famous Phil Hendrie Show.
You don't know what I'm talking about. But I did that.
Yeah, but that tape makes you sound like a real jackball, man.
I don't understand how that is. I said he's dead, move up, and was I right? Yes, he was dead. Did I tell my son to move up? And I told my girlfriend to move up? Yes. Do I care about dead people? Not as much as I do about the living. If that makes me a criminal, I plead guilty. Go ahead, put the cuffs on me, bug me, put me in the shower with a bunch of guys that, who like that kind of thing.
All right, I understand, Ron, and, don't make yourself out to be a martyr here, okay? We're talking about a very tragic event at a Black Friday sale. I can't believe, no wonder George Romero made that movie, Dawn of the Dead, about the zombies representing consumers. Because that's really what, when you get right down to it, that was a pretty good movie, pretty good metaphor.
Wait a minute. You think that George Romero's movies are metaphors for something? You got to be kidding me.
I'm not saying he intended it that way, but a lot of people thought it was that. 877-876-PHIL. Here is Nelson on the Phil Hendrie Show. Go ahead, Nelson. You're on with Dr. Ron Tarner.
Yes, I would like to say, first of all, he never seen a dead person. Second of all, what role model are you to your son? Telling your son to move up and not help somebody else? Are you serious? Look, I seen a dead person.
You did? What about the eyes? Was I right?
No.
Was I right about the eyes?
Listen. I'm in the military. I've been to war. I seen a dead person. Just because somebody collapsed doesn't mean they're dead. They could be dehydrated. Have you seen somebody when they're dehydrated? They just collapse. Are they dead? No.
Of course. Well, you're only dead if the eyeballs have those dead. If you got the dead eyes.
No. Listen. A lot of people who collapse and have their eyeballs open. You don't know. I don't think you know what you're talking about. I don't even think you've never seen a dead person before.
The eyeballs are open. If the eyes are open and the eyeballs are staring back dead, then you know they're dead.
What do you mean they're staring back?
Let me ask you something.
Yeah?
I just got one question for you.
Go ahead.
In order for you to determine if the person was dead, did you check them?
I didn't because I was at my car. But I looked at
the
guy.
So how can you tell from that far that the person was dead? And your son tried to be a good American citizen and try to help, and you're going to deny your son? What role model?
Because when the guy went down, I'm going to try to tell you. When he went down, his head turned to the left, staring right at me. And I said, yep, they're dead. Because I was looking.
When somebody loses conscience, nobody knows where their head is going to turn. You need to tell your son sorry and tell your son that not everybody is like you, that don't like helping. So what if the person is dead? You should be
I'm not going to tell.
You should be a good American. You should be a good American and show help. We help people that need help.
How do you help a dead guy? How do you help a dead guy?
How? Hello.
Yeah, you put him in
honor that person. Be like, okay, he's
put him in a bag.
At least don't treat that person like a piece of dirt.
Exactly.
You don't know
Exactly.
whose father was that. You don't know whose father was that. You don't know whose brother was that. You don't know that. What about?
Well, that's a good point. That's a good point. But what I said to my son, if you're going to step over the guy, do it with. Well, I guess you're going to be upset with me. If you're going to step over a man, do it with respect.
How do you step over a man with respect? How do you do that?
Let me ask you something. Hey, you want to know something? When you step over somebody, you're showing your behind to them. You know that, right? When you step over somebody, you're showing the behind. That's why in the military we are so tight. Because if somebody dies, we treat them with more honor than they are alive. You know why? Because they sacrifice them. So yes, and by you saying that person lives it. By you saying that person eats a lot of grease, how you know he eats a lot of grease? How you know that?
Because he got out of a car with Virginia license plates. Thank you. God.
Listen, sir, I don't know where you come from, and I don't know what kind of doctor who gave you that license to be a doctor.
I'm an astrophysicist.
Check by who?
I'm an astrophysicist. I'm an astronomer.
He's an astronomer. He's not a medical doctor.
You know what you need to do? You know what you need to do? To be honest, you need to work like.
Did you hear the tape? You heard my tape, right? The tape. Here it is. Hey, move up! Move up! Yeah, he's dead. He's dead. All right, that was the tape of me telling my son to move up.
Are you serious? I mean, sir, to be honest with you, you make...
Phil Hendrie.
He was going to call me a butthole.